sorry to hear Courtney has been possessed. It is a shame, but it happens to a few. Uh, how'd she get possessed? Well, we'll get into that in a moment, but let's get into the IMDb plot first. A bumbling wedding party must battle the forces of evil when a bride becomes possessed by the devil the night before her wedding. Oh, and poor Courtney was gonna get married and everything, and oh, well, again, it happens sometimes to some. I don't know. Anyway, this one just came out, received a screener, and so I'll try to keep this fairly spoiler free, and I'll try to be careful. Not that there's huge twists and turns, but I don't want to give too much away here. But we obviously know we're dealing with a kind of an exorcism kind of movie. Um, but it is also a comedy in part. So it's not going to be a huge, serious kind of like the Exorcist kind of movie. There's going to be a little bit more lighthearted than that. There's some comedy elements to it, um, but still have some seriousness with it, but not too much. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking we're going to get a hardcore Exorcist movie here. Obviously, like I said, it says here bumbling wedding party, and yeah, they really are not prepared for this kind of thing. Not that many people are, but that's what's happening here. So, um, yeah, at the beginning of the movie, we kind of get introduced to Courtney and some characters that are going to play a role in it. And interestingly enough, she has a sister. Her sister's going to play a role in it. They don't really get along. They obviously have issues that they've carried with each other and between them for a long time. And at this wedding party, interesting guy comes up and starts talking to Courtney. And obviously, as you're the audience, you kind of know that there's something maybe off with him. But, she takes the conversation as it is. And he offers her a gift. She takes it. And then the movie kind of skips forward a little bit. And Courtney has met, not this guy, somebody else. And the plan is for her to get married. And kind of on the night where, she's, I guess, having her, bridal shower and so forth, hanging out with some of the girls. And the guys are kind of doing their thing. Also, not too much focus on them at first. Um, you know, they're kind of setting up. You're kind of seeing the relationship between Courtney and her sister expand. Then she has a friend who's almost more sister like than her own sister, and one or two other people there. So kind of getting that dynamic to go, and before you know it, this guy shows up again on this particular night, and before you know it, Courtney's sister, without really knowing, has invited him in, and all hell kind of breaks loose after that. And I guess I should mention just prior to him showing up, Courtney starts acting a little bit weird. So you're thinking, is she already possessed? What is going on with her? And she takes them down to the basement where they try to do some kind of ritual thing. You're just like, well, what is really going on there? You're not really sure. But soon enough, this guy is gonna come knocking on the door, and her sister lets him in, and before you know it, yeah, he's the devil. He's not good, and basically he's taking claim to Courtney, and he has reasons for kind of having her in control of her. And before you know it, the movie kind of shifts into that, kind of that typical what we see. Courtney ends up tied down. She's on the bed. What do we do now? The devil is inside her. And, you're kind of thinking, okay, we're gonna go this route. We're gonna get, what are they gonna do with her? We're gonna get this whole scene. Eventually, her fiance is called, and his friends come over, and one of them supposedly has some. I won't give too much away of it, but I guess he's somewhat a priest. I won't give away the whole thing there because it's kind of funny. But there's, it's kind of, you're thinking you're going to get that's, we've seen it in both ways, I think, in enough horror movies now. You get the serious exorcism scene, someone's tied down, and lots of bad stuff are said, and it's really dark and creepy, and you have a real priest there really trying really hard, and then you get the flip side of that where you get people who tie someone down to the bed and have no idea what they're doing, but are just willing to try whatever, and that's kind of what you have here. And a little bit of a funny scene, and but the movie's not all about that. It's not all about just being tied down to the bed. We'll say we move on from that, and it's not just Courtney tied down. Other things happen, but let's just put it at the end of the day that there is possession, the devil is in play, and it is how is this group of people going to get rid of the devil and stop whatever it is his plan is for Courtney or for any of them. I will say, yeah, there's a couple of deaths. There's a little bit of blood, surprisingly enough. I think with the deaths there was a little bit of blood, not heavy, but there's a little bit. There's one scene where there should have been a lot of blood, but they didn't really give it to you as much as you wanted. Like there was that moment where you kind of knew what was going to happen, and they kind of set it up very slowly. I, as much as I wanted to see the blood, I'm not going to complain too much because I kind of like, you're wondering what the hell is it. I don't want to give away too much of the scene, but I'll say it is kind of in the entrance of the apartment and maybe midway through. And, the one person is kind of putting on the code, and you're kind of wondering there's some conversations being had, and they're just taking it so smoothly. You're like, what exactly is happening here? Why are they having this conversation? And then it happens. So, yeah, there was room. There could have been more blood than there was. You could have seen it more, but I still like the scene and the way they did it. Maybe having huge blood wasn't in the budget, but whatever. So yeah, there's a little bit to go around here. Obviously, I think the fiance, he's not, maybe nobody really here is well equipped to kind of save her or figure out what's going on here. But even his best friend is even worse, and he's funny, and so I think you give some characters here who are a little weird and kind of give you some of that extra comedy there. And again, we're not serious possession movie here. It is more a little bit light. Obviously, bad things are in store. I would say, as far as the ending, it's a little interesting, and I think kind of, almost, like I said, definitely as it goes towards the ending and how it kind of rolls to the ending, you definitely see that it is not, definitely not a serious possession movie. Obviously, the characters have some, issues to resolve, and some of those might be resolved by the end, some of them may not. But definitely, I would say, again, I say this often, I don't know if it's just me, maybe not drop dead funny, but funny enough. Maybe I thought it was going to be a little bit more darker than it was. Like I said, there are a few deaths, there's a little bit of blood. I didn't really expect it to be, serious exorcism, but maybe just a little bit more darker than it was. But yeah, I still think it was pretty good for what it was. Again, not drop dead funny. Like there were some good scenes. Like I said, when she's tied down to the bed and then the guys get involved and trying to figure out what's going on there. That was fun, and definitely the chance of a bloodbath was fun, even though you didn't get to see the full extent of it. But yeah, I not a good. Not gonna say the acting was terrific from everybody, but it wasn't too distracting. I thought maybe at the beginning, I wasn't quite sold, but I mean, I think, by the time the movie got to the end, I was okay with it. I guess I got settled in with who the characters were, and it was fine. Maybe at the beginning there was just a little too much talking, or I don't know. At the beginning I wasn't really feeling it, but And sometimes if I'm not feeling that from an acting standpoint, it can ruin the whole movie. But I think after a while, it kind of settled into, okay, those are the characters, and then that's fine, and then it was fine by the end. So with that, I think I'm going to give this one 2.5 pools of blood. Kind of in the middle here, that is out of 5, so 2.5 out of 5. Not the most serious, not the most funny, but good enough. Had some good moments in it, and definitely worth a watch. I know this one came out just at the end of October, so kind of squeeze this one in there. Was hoping to get to the review a little bit sooner, but unfortunately I didn't. But anyway, still a good watch to kind of start November with. And anyway, that again is 2.5 out of 5 if you're looking for maybe something that's not totally a serious exorcism movie, and maybe looking to get over the Exorcist movie that just came out and didn't go so well for you. So again, horrorosgorereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Definitely, if you're interested in just the video reviews, which there have been many lately, please feel free to like, subscribe, do all those things that everybody wants you to do. If not, no worries, no problem. But please still head over to the short section and try to enjoy some of that fun that I'm trying to have there, and keep you informed on a little bit with some things. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Feel free to hit me up there if you have something you want me to review, or if you want to talk horror. And even if you're a reviewer yourself and you're sharing your horror review, feel free to share there. I'm more than happy to give you a retweet or share, whatever. Support other reviewers. It's all good. And definitely in the comment section, once you see this movie, please feel free to share your thoughts, and what you thought, and did you like the movie, and maybe even your thoughts compared to the other recent Exorcist movie that came out, which I have not seen yet, but I've heard really bad things about it. We'll hopefully rectify that soon. So with that, I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.